Right. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Hope you're doing well. I am trying to figure out what is going on with the YouTube stream. There we go. Now I can see my screen. That looks better. And just as a reminder, I only see one person here, John, too. We are mostly running these things through our YouTube channel now. I am still broadcasting to the Discord to make sure that folks can still kind of follow along before we fully migrate this over to YouTube. So please check out our YouTube channel. I will post that here in the chat. That's the best way to join and interact with things. So make sure you head over that way. Let me get my screen sharing started for the Discord, just so people who are chiming in on this side of the house can see everything and see what's going on. So yeah, just a reminder, we are doing chat, and main live stream activity is on the YouTube channel, link above. Here. All right, and let me just get couple reminders out to the chats in the group. Main options chat. Chat, let me post this to them. And then let's talk about what's going on with the market here. Man, the one thing I do not love about this. What's up, Strife? Good morning. Good to see you. Happy you're here. I was just getting ready to say, the one thing I don't necessarily love about this is it's not easy to see who all is watching or has joined us. So if you have joined us, welcome, welcome. Hope everybody's doing well this morning. We're going to talk a little bit about what I'm seeing with the markets going into open here. We'll do a couple of trade plan recaps, and then we'll work on some new trade plans. For those of you who are new to this, glad you are here. What's up? What's up, Whole Minimum? Good to see you, buddy. Glad you're here. If you guys have any ticker requests, feel free to go ahead and start dropping those in the chat here in our coffee. Man, that's a good call. Actually, I haven't even had a sip yet. I've been waiting for it to cool down enough. There it is. There's your ASMR coffee sip for the morning. All right, let me I'm gonna poke over here to the Xtrades YouTube side of things, or the Xtrades Discord, just to make sure folks are aware what's going on. I want to keep an eye on it kind of loosely in case anybody posts any questions or has any issues with what's going on the YouTube side of the house. So all right, I think I'm ready to go. I will get better at this new setup as time goes on, I'm sure. All right, so what are we seeing here on the market this morning? Well, we've seen a nice recovery from that little bit of a, to me, it ultimately looks like a bit of a shakeout. Also seeing this initial reaction to the economic data that just dropped being reversed already. Let's check this out on the 5-minute chart. One thing I do want to note, though, before I flip to the 5-minute chart, this is going to be a tough area of resistance to break through. This is our current all-time high as far as futures go, up here at 52, 57, 50. We are in a supply zone currently, 4-hour supply zone, and we are under a bearish flag currently here on Neptune, with a clean rejection of the key selling pressure right here, exactly where we would expect it to happen heading into this PPI data this morning. I haven't seen the numbers yet. I saw them popped up, but I haven't read them myself personally. So let's take a look at that, see what that means for the markets, and probably most importantly, whether or not the markets are going to continue to price in rate cuts happening sooner rather than later this year. I've been saying for quite a while, I'll be surprised if we get anything prior to June. It'll probably be second half of the year. And if inflation data keeps being sticky, could possibly even be Q4 this year before we see any kind of interest rate cuts from the Fed. So I think the market for a while there was pricing in a more aggressive earlier rate cut. I think that has been dispelled at this point, and the market's continuing to push to the upside or remain bullish, which is I would say somewhat typical for an election year. Generally, the Fed wants to do everything it can to encourage market participants to push things to the upside. Looks good for the incumbent. Anyway, let's kind of dig into this more from a technical perspective. So PPI numbers did come in pretty high. I would say month over month was up 0.6%. The consensus and previous reading were 0.3%, so double the expectation on that. That's not fantastic. Retail sales came in a little bit low, which is also not great. That's showing signs of slowdown in economic activity. So overall, these numbers don't look great in my personal opinion. And the core PPI month over month also slightly high at 0.3% versus the consensus of 0.2, but lower than the previous reading. So it didn't come down quite as much as expected, but it is lower than the previous reading. So I guess that's a plus. We also had jobless claims this morning. Those came in slightly low. So again, that could also, nobody wants to see unemployment go up, for the well-being, I would say for the overall economy. However, unemployment going up also could encourage the Fed to cut rates sooner rather than later. So from a, Wall Street market standpoint, they want to see those rates get cut sooner. So they're looking for, it's almost good news is bad news, or I should say bad news is good news. So flip that. Bad news is good news as far as unemployment goes, because again, we would be looking for that number to tick up, showing signs of, demand dropping, right? As more people find themselves out of work and don't have money to spend, that lowers demand, which allows prices to come down, which helps control inflation, blah, 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 all that good stuff. So a little bit of a fight here between the bears and the bulls this morning, just kind of drilling in a little bit. Pretty heavy volume though. On that sell candle, I wasn't watching it here on the 5-minute chart to see if the volume really started to tick up down here. Are holding this 200, 333 SMA combo. But overall, flags on Neptune showing bearish, both on the 5-minute and the 15-minute here. Short signal on that big sell candle. That's not surprising. Sometimes the filter can get essentially tricked into firing off a signal when you have a massive candle like that. Anytime big data drops, these signals can be a little less reliable. So anyway, things overall are kind of looking like we may be finding a top and maybe looking for another pullback to see if we can build up enough momentum to push through all this, but time will tell. All right, so let me get back over to the live stream here at YouTube. M2K IWM. Yeah, sure, we can take a look at IWM. I actually like charting that and haven't looked at it in a while. And for those of you who are just joining us here on the Xtrades YouTube, please make sure that you are participating in the chat. Would love to hear what you guys have to say, whether you have questions, comments, suggestions for how we can do these streams better, or if you have ticker requests for trade plans that we can work on, please feel free to drop any of those in the YouTube chat. For those of you watching on our Discord, please make sure that you are heading over to the YouTube stream and participating there. Eventually, we are going to wind down, running the stream and doing anything with the chats and stuff here on the Discord. We're going to try to shift things over to YouTube as much as we possibly can. Also, just a quick reminder, make sure that you do subscribe to the Xtrades YouTube channel, because we will eventually limit the chat to subscribers only. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe to the YouTube channel, so take some time, set up an account with it's ultimately a Google account for YouTube. Subscribe to the Xtrades YouTube channel and you'll be good to go to continue to watch and participate in these live streams moving forward. All right, so let's take a look at our trade plans that we did on Tuesday morning. First one we're going to take a look at here, Eli Lilly. I forget who requested this one. I guess it's one of the other disadvantages of this YouTube chat is it doesn't really have the history of our prior live streams. But again, I think overall we are inviting more people into the conversation by holding this on YouTube, and I think that's a good thing, both for Xtrades members and non-Xtrades members alike. So we were looking for calls on Eli Lilly on a break above 746.87. We had targets up here at 764.12, 773.65, and a final target up here at 789.97. We did get a nice break over back test entry from a Neptune perspective, also right in the buying pressure on the Neptune ribbon there, pushing things to the upside. Would have had to take a swing overnight, but ultimately to get to PT1, we did have a resistance here. Wouldn't have blamed anybody for taking profits and not risking that overnight swing through that area of possible resistance right there. So we did eventually in the extended hour session. Again, kind of hard to tell with Eli Lilly. It has these weird little hash mark candles, which don't really, aren't really reliable or tell us much. But I think ultimately somewhere in there we did tap PT1 during the extended trading hour session. Again, that's something you always have to be mindful of when it comes to swinging options overnight. You might hit your target and start to see a pullback at PT1 in this particular case before you can really do anything to take an exit. So just keep that in mind as you consider whether or not to swing options overnight, especially anything that has a short expiration on it. Make sure that you're buying way more time than you think you're going to need. However, it wouldn't have really mattered if you were patient enough and weren't willing to get shook out. Ultimately, in the morning, we dumped back down pretty close to this confluence here, essentially bounced right off the 200 SMA there on the 5-minute chart, but also pretty close to our call entry levels. Had a nice little confluence of support there, pulled back, caught that confluence, bounced right up, tapped PT1 there, so we're able to get out right there at that one there intraday. And here pre-market this morning, we see it trying to fight above. The indicators are starting to bring that support and buying pressure up closer to that PT1, so we may see that continue to push things through and try to make a break to the upside to get to PT2. I would definitely want to see 764.12 break for confirmation that we might continue up to that 773.65 second target. So overall, Lilly, could have caught a day trade here for this. We didn't quite get to PT1, but still would have been a nice profitable trade, especially off that back test. Could have gotten back in here on this quick early morning dump into this confluence and bounce all the way up to PT1. Really quick, nice trade there. That would have been a nice, very profitable trade and wouldn't have had to hold it very long. So no theta issues or anything like that. So overall, the Eli Lilly plan playing out nicely. So Strife, if you go back and watch the videos as they're saved to our YouTube channel, the chat does get saved to the videos, but I don't, I'll look around and see if there is something that would allow us to continue to see the chat from prior live streams. I'm not sure if it's possible, but certainly something I will look into. I appreciate you making that suggestion, buddy, for sure. All right, CRM. This one I checked out this morning just to see what was going on with it. Overall, this has been a no trade. It stayed within our range so far. So just a reminder, the CRM trade plan, it may eventually make a break one way or the other. So just keep these in mind. And if you're a member of the Xtrades Discord, you can go back and see these plans at any time. I am posting them in the options watch list. I'm putting only the ticker and the chart in there. So just as a reminder, these solid lines are our entry levels, dashed lines, price targets, heavy dotted lines. Those are our stop loss average down levels. That's also reflected in the long short positions here. This is your risk area above this. You're in for profits, looking for these targets. If you happen to break break back down below the stop loss average down level, this is your risk area. So same thing to the downside, right? So keep that in mind. For those who have access to our Discord, again, these plans are posted in the options watch list if you ever need to go back and reflect on them. But what we're looking for still on CRM, nothing's happened yet as far as our plan goes. Is a break over 308.54 with targets at 313.71, 318.88, and 322.15 with a stop loss average down here at 305.70. To the downside, we're looking for a break below 301. That would give us targets at 296.64, 292.28, and 287.79 with a stop loss average down here at 303.78. So that's our CRM trade plan. Let's work on some new ones. We got about 30 minutes left. All right. So glad to see a bunch of our Xtrades fam here in the YouTube chat. Glad you guys are here. Please make sure to make yourselves known. I don't really have an easy way to see, as we do in the Discord, kind of who all is in the mix here. So please come, get active, join us. I hope you guys like the YouTube experience as much as you've enjoyed the Discord experience. So with that being said, let's continue on here. with some of these chart requests. Yeah, run up the likes, folks. I'm down for that. What's up, Chris? Good morning to you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. All right, so let's take a look at what was our first one. IWM from Strife. Strife. All right, let's see where IWM is at. Seems to be struggling with this 206.68 daily level. That was a price target from some trade plan at some point. It's indicated by these dashed lines. I'm not really sure where the entry level was, but let's tighten these up. Let's get this back to normal. All right, and it's been a while since I've looked at IWM. Briefly, I'm going to hide my indicators just so I can kind of get a sense of things. And honestly, I'm probably just going to focus on the hourly chart. I think I've got some good higher time frame levels. We are seeing a reaction to them, especially with this struggle to get over this 206.68 level. But let's see if we can't figure out where there's some other levels we might want to keep on watch in mind. This is an interesting level. Could be a useful stop loss. All right. Something there. Might wind up being a price target. I think we got something there too. Anything else that sticks out? Yeah, this morning sell-off is being bought up pretty quickly. All right, let's take a look at this trend line. We do have this little wick below it, but honestly, those are some nice clean touches leading up to this, again, kind of data-driven pullback. But ultimately, it looks like this candle's going to close back above it. So, I mean, technically, this trend line is still valid, and it is confirmed with those three touches. So, that's interesting to watch. Could continue to push us up and through this 206.68 sell pressure. So, if we get over that, question becomes, where do we need to look to potentially take some profits? Kind of eyeballing this 207.77 level. Let's mark it real quick. And let's zoom out for a second. I want to take a look at something. Okay, what I thought. That's what I thought. Okay, so really we're going to be looking for price action really back here, April of 2022. Let's go to April 4th of 2022. All right. I don't know if we'll be able to go back that far, but we'll try. We can. How about that? All right. Yeah, I do like this level as a price target. Over that. Interesting little bit of resistance there a few times. I think I'm not seeing. We might be shooting for that weekly level. Yeah, I take that back. I think we do have something right here. I think that would be a wise place to take some profits. Again, IWM is not going to be a massive mover, so we have to kind of plan these price targets pretty methodically. I know it's a tight PT 123. This could ultimately wind up being just happening intraday, depending on how the market moves. But I don't think I would ignore 209 either. So again, IWM not a fast, large move ticker. This is interesting though that we've got this big fair value. Although I think we do kind of fill it once we hit that 209. Honestly. Yeah, I think we're going to stick with this right where we've got it. I know that's a tight PT23, but it's just what it looks like. We could potentially test where this previous high topped out. I'd say closer to 210.25. You can keep that in mind. let's just take a look at that real quick. Sorry, I'm kind of debating with myself a little bit as I talk through this. Yeah, let's go back to that neck of the woods. See, I'm just not seeing a lot of this. Yeah, you know what? This level, I might have this a little high actually. This is probably sitting a little bit more like right there. It's that catch, that little wick. It's pretty damn close. All right. I'm going to throw out a fourth price target. Don't be greedy. Only, runners taking things up to this level. And again, be careful of expecting too much more than 209. That's a weekly resistance. We've seen some big rejections there in the past. So keep that in mind. And again, I like our stop loss average down. We talked about this earlier, right here. So we got our upside trade plan down pat, I think. Downside, where does that start to get interesting? I mean, really, with the potential of breaking below this trend line, it does kind of get interesting, possibly sooner rather than later. Yeah, I do see a potential entry here, actually, just below it. And also very close to where we're bouncing from on this pre-market move. But I'm just looking at sort of how well we've held that, and then when we get below it, I think we've got a good shot, enough room down to this 203.13 level to make it a worthwhile entry. Also, I like this as a stop loss average down, so it sets us up with a pretty decent risk reward getting to PT1 there. Let's see what happens below 203.13 though. Yeah, I'd be shooting for this daily level down here at 202.05. Then no end. Sorry, had to do it. Yeah, I think this 201.10 level. So here's our IWM trade plans. Regardless of if she goes up or down, we will be ready. And again, I think that the spacing, I will say, is probably the best way to phrase that, of I think it's appropriate for an ETF like IWM, which is a super fast mover. So let's talk through these plans real quick, and then we'll move on to another ticker request. All right, so over 206.68 is what we're looking for to take calls. Confirmed break of that level with targets at 207.77, 208.46, and 209 flat. You can take a shot at 210.51 if you like, but for that, please only green contracts. Make sure you're moving your stops up. That should be free or green runners at that point. So make sure you've scaled out all your initial buying power from the trade back out in profits and then some by the time we get up to 209. And then if you're still holding a contract by the time we get there, feel free to take a shot for 210.51. With the stop loss average down here at 205.95. To the downside, we're looking for a break below 204.47. Let me spread this out a little bit so that's easier for you guys to see. We're looking for a break below 204.47. That should give us targets at 203.13, 202.05, and 201.10 with a stop loss average down at 205.30. Those are your IWM trade plans. Let me post this in the chat. IWM trade plan. Boom. Let me also post this in the options watch list before I forget. Copy image. Watch lists. IWM trade plan from the YouTube stream. All right. So what was our next ticker request? Ooh, Charlene. Charlene wants to play with some fire today. She wants to take a look at NVIDIA. I'm assuming Charlene's a she. All right, let's take a look at NVIDIA. All right, NVIDIA is one I haven't looked at a lot lately. I've got some old fib extensions here that are from God knows how long ago. I don't even know if I still have it. They've played out very well, though. I mean, I've been very impressed with how well they have caught some moves on NVIDIA that at levels that had never been tested before. Stuff like that. These fib extensions got put in. I probably didn't leave the actual fib tool on the chart anywhere to know that. But they got put in a long time ago, well before NVIDIA ever tested any of these crazy levels up here. Real quick, I'm going to fix this noise. Sorry. Let me just get through this real quick. Dotted line. Fix. Okay, that's all those fib extensions. They're all the same. Sorry, it just gets to be a little chaotic when I'm trying to look at this stuff like that. There we go. That bothers me less now. Okay. So let's figure out what we need to be looking for here on NVIDIA. This is going to be a little bit of a challenge, but who doesn't like a good challenge, right? All right. Well, already like this level on the hourly chart. It's a good start. Like this one too. Where is this level at? There's something in here. There is something there. It doesn't really clear up. Actually, it could be a little bit higher. Actually, let me pull this up right there. Yeah, there's something there. Yeah, got a little level in there too. That's where the gap is. It's actually catching two gaps, but doesn't really catch a ton else. I'm gonna leave that all in for now. I feel like I'm forcing that level. This is interesting here though. And we're probably not gonna need anything too much lower. Let's see what we've got up here. Yeah. It's not the greatest level I've ever caught, but I think there's something there. This is an interesting couple of pre-market candles off this level right here, but let's do this. I don't typically go too much tighter than the hourly, but we may need to do that in this particular. Yeah, there is a level there. Just to be able to see things a little bit more. Interesting that I'm not really seeing much else near this resistance. And do we pick up any new levels down in this little range that I was curious about earlier using the 30-minute? Yeah, I think we do actually. Right there. Okay, where does that put us? I think that puts us in okay shape. So the other thing we're going to want to do is draw ourselves some trend-based fib extension levels. We're going to need those, I have a feeling. Question is, where does this trend really kick off? It might start all the way down here. Let's see if this lines up the way I think it will. Pretty close. Yeah, I'd say we go with that actually. Whoops. All right, so let's see what this shows us. Come here. You to you. Where are our confluences? Probably going to be right about here. How about that? Yep. Right about where I want it. Yeah, I actually really like that. Okay, so let's nail down these fib extensions real quick. I'll leave this one on the chart, that way when we hit one of these like months from now and it rejects perfectly, we can say we saw it happening way before anybody else did. There. Right there. Come on. Boom. Okay. Let's see how that helps with our trade planning here. So, get the indicators on, make sure we've got some agreement with things here, especially with what NVIDIA is doing at the moment. That's that. Well, I'm just going to turn this off for a second. I don't need it for what I'm trying to do here. All right. Did have an interesting confluence, though, up here at this 942.70 level. This rejection, a little shy of it, though. We didn't see anything else off that resistance, did we? Not really. It's interesting. All right. I just feel like we'd be crazy to not keep that in mind, though, where this rejection started off from. Debating. Make a decision, JT. You know what? I can see this on the 15-minute chart a little bit. I don't, again, like to flag this with like a caution yellow color before I use it with too much conviction for anything else. I guess what I was trying to say there. All right, so let's take a look at this. Let's nail this down. I think we also have another trend line we're going to want to pay attention to. This was just for our fib extensions. It might be a little flatter than that. Yeah, comes off like that. So, all right. I think what we're looking for here on NVIDIA, break of this 910.38 fib extension from God knows how long ago. First target up here at this 936.75. Also have a good confluence with the Neptune heaviest resistance key selling pressure there right below it. So again, make sure you're taking profits on approach within a reasonable range. You don't have to hit that number exactly to be scaling out for profit over that. I say we take a shot at this current all-time high up here at 975.41. And the only thing we can really do above that is just pick our next fib extension at 998.47. Stop loss average down. I do like it right here at 897.11. That also sets us up with a really nice risk reward scenario there. So yeah, like that upside trade plan, especially with again, a smart window of opportunity there. So if we break below this trend line, though, that could get interesting for continuation to the downside, also where we bounced from yesterday pretty much. Below that, yeah, I think we've got our first target here at 865.47. Could also eventually see the 200 SMA catching up, adding some confluence and support at that level. Below that, say we shoot for this fib extension down here at 847.09. Actually, I take that back. Sorry. Looks better like this to me. $854.74 being our second price target, $837.58 third price target to the downside. And honestly, it's a tightish window, but I think playing against NVIDIA as far as it continuing to the upside, probably very appropriate to keep a tight stop loss on it. So I think we're going to share a stop loss with the call side of this trade plan. Keep it aim small, miss small. If we're going to try to go against NVIDIA's massive run that it's on. Come here. Where is this at? Let's all the way up here. There we go. All right, so here are the NVIDIA trade plans. I don't need this anymore. That's just in the way. And let me share this in the YouTube chat. And let me also share it in the options watch list. There we go. All right, that's posted everywhere. So let's talk through this one more time, just to make sure we're all on the same page. So what we're looking for here on NVIDIA is break over 910.38. That should give us targets at 936.75, 975.41, and 998.47. So some big moves if we break through that first price target. Stop loss average down at 897.11. To the downside, again, we're playing against a very strong name here. Makes sense to keep things tight and targets aggressive as far as taking profits quickly. So 886.39 is what we're looking for, a break below to take puts. Or short NVIDIA if you want to go that direction with it, with targets at 865.47, 854.74, and 837.58. And we're going to share stop loss average down with that upside trade plan here at 897.11. Those are your NVIDIA trade plans. All right. Let's see. We got NVIDIA. Frank wants Amazon. All right, let's take a look at Amazon. And I did notice some folks in the morning live stream channel on the Xtrades Discord. Just a reminder for you folks that we are really trying to push all of this over to our YouTube stream. I'll continue to share it here, but I'm just not able to monitor both chats. So if you want to interact, give me ticker requests, all that sort of stuff, please make sure that you're joining us on the YouTube side of the house. That is the chat that I'm going to kind of gravitate toward as time goes on, and eventually we're going to be running these exclusively through our YouTube channel. So make sure that you are joining us there. Make sure that you are subscribing to the Xtrades YouTube channel. That way you can participate in the chat there. Eventually, right now it's open to everybody, but eventually we will limit chat participation on the YouTube side of the house to subscribers only, as far as subscribers of the Xtrades YouTube channel, and it's free to subscribe, so why not? All right, so our next one was Amazon for Frank the Tank. And I think I've got enough time to knock it out. So let's see. And Amazon's one that I've charted pretty thoroughly, so we're not going to have to draw a bunch of levels, I don't think. We're also in the range of an old trade plan where we were looking for calls over 174.25 with a stop loss at 172.02. PT1 177.46, so you can see we based off that weekly level. That weekly levels are going to be very strong. Not surprising that that was the bottom for things there. And it was also the stop loss average down from a plan that we did. Let's see, when was this plan from? February 5th. So that plan kind of still playing out again. All right, but let's see how we catch this for continuation. Amazon looking pretty strong at the moment. All right. Interesting level right here on the hourly that I don't have on the chart yet, but I definitely see action there that we're going to want to be aware of. I also think that could trigger more upside. I think it takes us up to this 179.88 level. The only reason I believe it's going to be a different scenario than what we saw here is now we'll have Neptune bullish and below us, versus here that's topping out at the key selling pressure point. Not surprised at that rejection whatsoever, but that's not overhead anymore. So I think that does give us room up to that 179.88 level. And I think that also gives us a smart stop loss here at this weekly level, the next one below us. So I like that first price target. That's already done for us. And I'm guessing third price target or second price target going to be 182.95. We might have to zoom out a little bit to find when Amazon was up in this range last, without it taking forever. Oh, there we go. All right, so when is this? We're looking at 22nd of November 2021. All right, so let's see how this played out way back when. Should we have a second price target actually here at 181.17? Is the question I'm asking myself, and I think the answer is yes. I think that's a smart place to take profits there. Also questioning this 182.95 level a little bit. I'm a little bit more drawn to this 183.60 level. Wonder where 182 came from on that previous trade plan. Let's just go back a little bit more if we can. Let's see. Come on. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna have a ton of action up here. Well, let's see. We're getting close here. Yeah, I like it there though. All right, let's. Oops. Go back to this spot. Remember. So this is the level I was really debating on. If this 182.95 is a little bit low, I say we leave it. We'll stick with it. I mean, we could shoot for a little bit more, I think, on that third price target, but why be greedy? I think overall that will be a successful and very nicely profitable trade plan the way we've got it drawn up. So let's not be greedy. So upside trade plan squared away. Downside, interesting that I had this. I guess it's the old call entry level. I think this makes a good put entry level now, though, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, I think it does. I think that flips this stop loss average down level to being a first price target. I just want to see candlesticks for a second here. There's a mini little gap to fill, actually. It's very tiny right here, 22nd of February. Yeah, it's not really filled. I think that would be a school. Gosh, is that being greedy though? I mean, look at that. I was thinking about this stop loss average down level being a PT2. Yeah, I'm gonna stick to that actually. You're not gonna gain that much more profit by shooting a little bit lower. And again, I'd rather shoot conservative if I'm debating between two levels. I'd say we take a shot at this as a third price target. That gap is so small, I'm not sure if it would be a reversal type reaction off that gap fill. So then the last question becomes, where's our stop loss average down for this? I do want my indicators for that. At here at 175.32. All right, yep, I like it. So here is the Amazon trade plan. And let me share this over in the Discord watch lists. All right, so let's talk through this real quick. We're looking for a break over 177.93 to go long on Amazon with shares or calls, your choice, with targets at 179.88, 181.17, and 182.95, with a stop loss average down at 176.32. To the downside, we're looking for a break below 174.25, with targets at 172.02, 170.90, and 169.67, with a stop loss average down at 175.32. Those are your Amazon trade plans. Let's see if we can't go 3 for 3 on these trade plans today. We went really 1 for 1 with one that hasn't played out at all yet, with CRM and Lily on from Tuesday's session. So 1 for 1, and as far as plans that went into effect, and one plan kind of still on hold there with CRM. But let's see if we can't go 3 for 3 on these trade plans we did today. I really like all of these setups that you guys asked for. So with that, I want to thank everybody who has joined us this morning, the folks watching on Discord and the folks watching here on YouTube. For those who have taken the time to come and join us on YouTube, I really appreciate you for kind of making the shift away from the Discord where we've typically done these in the past. Again, the YouTube is, I think, eventually going to become the exclusive home for the FOMO live streams. So keep that in mind. Make sure that you are subscribing to the Xtrades YouTube channel, because eventually we will limit the chat to our YouTube subscribers. So with that, I wish you all the best of luck today. As we always say here on the FOMO live stream, plan your trades, trade your plans, and if you don't have a plan, trade one of mine. So go out there, get some green. For those of you who are in the Xtrades Discord, I will see you guys in the chat today. I hope everybody has a fantastic day. Go out there, make that money. I will see you guys back here Tuesday morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a fantastic day.